book is all about having real conversations. Let's get to it. Let's get real. Now, you have a massive platform reaching millions of listeners, and you and I have talked about this before. You endorsed Joe Biden back in 2020, but this time around, you say you're not going to endorse anybody. Charlemagne, now is not the time, in my opinion, to sit this one out.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I never said I was sitting it out.
What you gonna do?
I'm definitely voting in November, but what I like to focus on is issues, not individuals. Like, you know, when
why not endorse?
Huh?
Why not endorse Biden?
Because if I'm sitting here telling my listeners that, you know, you have somebody out there who is a threat to democracy, you have somebody out there who said they want to, you know, suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. You saw this person, you know, try to lead an attempted coup of this country, and I'm telling people that this guy is a threat to democracy. Have you ever read Project 25? There's only 2 candidates out there. So if I'm saying that about this individual, the choice is clear, right? And I've seen y'all do this on The View before. I saw y'all do this to Killer Mike when he was on The View, and Killer Mike literally sat here and said, hey, you know, I supported Keisha Lance Bottoms. I supported Ralph Warnock. I supported John Ossoff, right, in Georgia. And he said, you should support the people that I've supported. You should support the person who the people I've supported are supporting.
Okay.
That's y'all opportunity to say, well, clearly he's talking about President Biden. Why do y'all need us to say this if we don't feel comfortable saying it?
No, it's not that we need you to say it, but I think other folks need to hear, because, you know, one of the things I'm sorry, I just jumped you, I'm sorry, but one of the things that we've been talking about is the fact that getting facts out through the media has been seems to be very difficult.
I feel like I just spewed some facts.
Yeah.
Yes, but we need you to do it on your show.
Well, the reality is I think both candidates are trash. So but I am going to vote in November, and I'm going to vote my best interest, and I'm going to vote who I think, you know, can preserve democracy. So if I think both candidates are trash and I don't feel like, you know, endorsing one, would you rather me endorse an individual or endorse the fact that, hey, we need to go out here and protect democracy?
And y'all just heard that exchange right there. And before I actually get into this, I have to give a shout out to 2 people. First, I have to give a shout out to Moxie Approved. He's another YouTuber on here who does a lot of different various types of commentary. Some of you may or may not have heard of him. But he actually was the first person I saw or came across with that clip that y'all just saw. And I said, I think I'm going to touch on this. And then literally a couple days later on the weekly Sunday address, Professor Black Truth touched on this as well. So shout out to both of them for putting that out into the forefront, and now I'm going to give my take on it, which pretty much is going to echo what both of them said. I think Charlemagne watches the new black media, and I don't think he's the only one. I think a lot of them watch us, but of course some of them will never care to or actually admit it. I know Simone Linebacker Built Sanders watches us, because I still remember that time when she was on her platform and she brought up the couch. And that will forever be ingrained in my mind. I wish I had access to the clip when she said that, because the thing is, I didn't see it online. It was actually on TV. And when she said that, my ears perked up, my eyebrows raised, and I almost did the owl neck thing. And was like, wait a minute, did I just hear her say or mention the couch? It kind of caught me completely off guard. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a fan of Charlemagne whatsoever. I used to entertain him and the Breakfast Club years ago when I used to listen to them on iHeartRadio many moons ago. And that's when the Breakfast Club was actually entertaining and worth listening to. Now, it's become a shell of itself that just needs to go away the way of the dinosaur and the dodo bird, as far as I'm concerned. So as you saw in that clip right there, he was recently on The View, and they were bringing up and talking about politics. And then Sonny Hostin was basically lambasting him right there on television about him not supporting Joe Biden. Now, as we all know, Charlemagne is, or could be seen as, a shill, especially a Democratic shill. He's had Joe Biden on the platform a couple of times. They're practically like close. Well, I don't know how close they'll be after this, but they've had him on the platform, the Breakfast Club, before. And of course, one of the most memorable ones was when he said this line right here.
Questions?
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, And you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see you.
So we all remember that. Now that's like not the entire thing, but really the part that was before that was when he said, if you don't vote for me, then you're not black. That had to be one of the most insulting things that anyone could have said. And the fact that there were black people that out there that went and still voted for him, even after seeing that, and still continue to shill for that man to this day, is asinine to me. Like, if you wanted an insult put right directly in your face, there it was right there for you. But you had Sonny Hostin right here that literally went in or tried to go in on Charlemagne about him not endorsing Biden anymore, and he basically gave his reasonings. And when he was giving his reasons, noticed that she started to try to cut him off and saying, why aren't you endorsing Biden anymore, and why aren't you doing this, and why aren't you doing that? I'm like, let the man try to get his words out without you just trying to talk over him with this attitude. Like, my goodness. Like, and that's something I've noticed about Sonny, and now that I know about her lineage, yeah, her ancestry or her clancestry is starting to seep through, but that's another topic for another day. And he sat up there and he pretty much told them. And then Whoopi comes in and basically tries to say, well, you know, so and so and so, but you have this big platform. Sonny basically said the same thing. You have this big platform with all these followers. Why would you sit up there and tell them that? Now, this is why I wanted to get the Cardi B video out first before this one, because this is piggybacking off of the Cardi B situation. Of course, you know, Cardi B basically came out in a Rolling Stone interview and said, F both Biden and Trump. Then you had the president of the NAACP basically say the same thing, or try to say the same thing to her that Sonny was trying to say to Charlamagne, as well as Whoopi Goldberg, basically lambasting her, or in a way of being careful of what you say, especially with the being a political cycle and this platform that you have. And then you had Keith Boykin come right behind the NAACP president and say the same exact thing and make that video trying to break down why she shouldn't say what she says and how dangerous it is and all this and that third. And Cardi B, just like Charlamagne, didn't say that they weren't going to vote. They just said they were not going to vote for Biden or Trump. And I'm telling you, whenever they hear people say, I'm not going to vote for either person, or I'm going to be neutral, or in my case, be an independent, they only hear in their minds, in their ears, what goes in is, I'm going to vote for the other person. Or not voting is a vote for the other side. How many times have we heard that? Notice, it's only when it comes to black people are we completely under a microscope and judged outright when it comes to how we move politically. It's almost like we do not have a mind of our own. And the Republicans or the conservatives are no different. They're the exact same way. So what they'll do is they'll hear something like what Charlemagne said or Cardi B said, and then think that, oh, now we can try to sway them to come our way. No, they basically just told you both of them are trash. And then if that doesn't work, then that's when they start attacking your character. See what I mean? Like, they do it all the time. Again, this is not me saying, you know, I have to put out my own disclaimer. This is not me saying I support Charlemagne or Cardi B. I'm not a fan of either one. But the fact that they're saying this in the response that they're getting, in the tone that it's in, we've heard that so many times before. Even as people who are not famous, we're not celebrities, we're not raking in millions of dollars, we're not in a certain high tax bracket, but the tone that they use with us is the same one that they use with them. Let that be a lesson out there to all of the black celebrities and entertainers, whatever field that you're in. When you decide that you're going to speak up about politics or speak politically about your, you know, how you lean, or if you don't lean, this is the pushback that you're going to get from both sides. It's not a one-sided affair. It's definitely duality between the both of them. That's why I say the two wings, same buzzard theory, because they both do the same thing. You should see the stuff that people be saying on X about, you know, oh, if you don't come out and you don't support Trump. One of the worst ones has to be Laverne Crooked Wig Spicer. If any person dare says that they are not going to support Trump, Here comes this chick writing a whole damn haiku soliloquy where she's using all kinds of 4 and 5 letter words to describe the person, and while praising Trump in it. Like, you don't believe me? Just go look on her X page and just start scrolling down, and you will see the absolute filth that comes off of her page when anyone disagrees with Trump or anyone says that they won't support him, more so a person who's famous. A person that doesn't even know who this chick is. Mind you, this woman has not won anything politically, but she keeps posting all this stuff as if she's some kind of a winner. This woman is an all-around lame loser, and I don't even like using the word lame to describe a woman, but there are exceptions to every rule, and she's definitely the exception and is much deserving of the title of lame and a whole bunch of other words that I can't think of at the moment. And she's not the only one. You got that Bill Holt one that I talked about who does the same thing. And don't get me started on Terrence K. Williams, who's probably the worst of the three. So that's why I said both sides are very well known for doing this type of thing. That's why I said I'm going to sit back on my couch, because we know we vote in Couch 2024, hashtag Couch 2024, kick my feet up, and get ready to watch the fireworks fly. It's going to be looking like the 4th of July come November 5th. It's going to be enough tears to overflow to start a new biblical flood. I hope y'all are ready.